Good evening, students, family members, friends, and distinguished guests. Welcome to Northeastern State University's Spring 2014 Commencement for the College of Liberal Arts. My name is Pamela Fly, and I serve as Acting Vice President for Academic Affairs. Please remain standing for the National Anthem, sung by Rebecca Yates, an NSU student graduating this evening. Rebecca is accompanied by the NSU Woodwind Quintet, consisting of Nia Foster, flute, Ryan Walker, oboe, Ashley Sally, clarinet, Alexander Forrest, bassoon, and Joshua Shoemaker, horn. Miss Jamie Combs will serve as our interpreter for this ceremony. Thank you, Rebecca. We will miss your talents. Please be seated. It is now my honor to introduce Northeastern State University's 19th President, Dr. Steve Turner, who will extend his greetings. President Turner.
Good evening, everyone. I want to point out to you that tonight you're making history. For the first time in so many years, this is the first spring commencement in this facility, in this new facility, and this is the first spring commencement where we did not restrict students to a number of tickets for their family. So this is a huge accomplishment. From the very beginning, I want to say how critical and how significant it is that there are people behind the scenes, even as we speak, behind cameras, working to get the building cool, to make sure everything's clean. I want to thank all of those people that have helped prepare this facility today. Some of them are here. I won't embarrass them, but let's thank them for getting us ready for today. To the candidates from the College of Liberal Arts, the accomplishments that you will be hearing about tonight and the degree that you're seeking and that will be conferred, it is not an accomplishment that you've made on your own. There are people throughout the audience tonight that have come, and in fact, several of them may not even recognize or know all that you've gone through, but they can certainly appreciate it, and they love and they care about your success. I'd like for the degree candidates, including those at the master's level, to stand and identify where your family and point and thank them for their contribution to getting you here tonight. You applaud them. You can stand, find where they are. I'd like to make a couple of other introductions at this time before I introduce the chairman of our board. Over to my left, my wife Penny is in the audience. Penny, we're glad you're here. Thank you for being here. We also have a great advocate for higher education, a person that understands the value and appreciates what we do here. I'd like for State Senator Jabbar Shoemake to stand. Thank you, Jabbar. Good to see you tonight. A few years ago, just a few days after her 67th birthday, I lost my mother to a devastating disease. And in 2 days, there'll be a major celebration that we call Mother's Day. And I know what it means to lose, and a lot of moms are here. I'd like for all the mothers to stand at this time, and let's recognize them. Happy Mother's Day, all the moms. Northeastern State University prides itself on being a veteran-friendly campus. If you are serving or have served in one of the branches of military, would you stand at this time as a group and let us thank you for your service to our nation. I'd like to personally offer one other word of appreciation, and I'd like to thank the faculty for what you've done and what you're doing and what you will do to prepare this generation and future generations to be good citizens, to be educated, and to protect our democracy. Thank you so much to our faculty. Richard C. Ogden is an attorney with the Oklahoma City law firm of Mullinex, Ogden, Hall, Andrews, and Loveland, and serves as Vice President and Director of the 19-member firm. Richard Ogden's practice focuses in business and commercial litigation, estate planning, probate and trust litigation, and intellectual property litigation. He was born in Guyman, Oklahoma, where he attended high school before proceeding to the Oklahoma State University, where he obtained his bachelor's degree in political science, and thereafter attending the University of Oklahoma College of Law, receiving his Juris Doctorate in 1989. He has served as a delegate to the American Bar Association for Oklahoma and has served on the board of directors for the Oklahoma County Bar Association. Ogden is currently a member of the Oklahoma Bar Association Mandatory Continuing Legal Education Commission and is the member of the Oklahoma Bar Association Diversity Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the chair of the Board of Regents of the Regional University System of Oklahoma, Richard Ogden.
Well, it is always a pleasure to be on the campus of NSU. I was here Wednesday, and I believe this is Friday, so 2 days ago. There it was for the commemoration of the seminary hall, 125 years ago. And it's so ironic, here we are in another beautiful building in this storied history of this university, the oldest university in the state of Oklahoma by far. And to see that and say, okay, well, you know, 125 years ago, that beautiful building that marks the center of this campus was built. And 125 years later, the same good work and the same great things are happening here. And it's going to just be wonderful for those, none of us will be here at the time, but 125 years from now to see what this campus will look like and where it will be. And clearly, this is something that is the genesis of the quality education that is provided at this institution, starting with the Cherokee Nation and their dedicated efforts to education and continuing through the educational efforts of the great faculty here and staff. I can tell you that the quality of education that you will receive here will take you far. You will gather here and you will go far. And it is true that many, many leaders of the state of Oklahoma have come from this institution. Many more will. Many of you may be leaders of the state of Oklahoma. And so the quality of education that you receive here, the quality of the experience will make you good citizens, will make you servant leaders. And I believe that just the roots of this institution and the storied history that you will take with you will make it even more significant. It is my pleasure as the chairman of the Board of Regents to extend to you and to your families our greetings and our best wishes and our congratulations. It is a big step for many of you. Many times it may have been the first person in your family to receive a college degree. And I can tell you today, and for all the people that are out there that hear sometimes in the public narrative that a college degree is not worth it, those are lies. That is not true. And we need to start telling the truth, because it is absolutely certain that people with a bachelor's degree will make more than $1 million annually than people with a high school degree. We need to start telling the truth about the quality of the education in the state of Oklahoma, and to paint the quality of education in the state of Oklahoma with some of the criticisms nationally is absolutely fundamentally unfair. Our students graduate with low student debt. Our students graduate with a high quality education. Our students stay in Oklahoma because of the jobs that are created here and because of the way the institutions match our degrees with the needs of the economy. So go tell the truth about higher education. Go tell the truth about NSU. And I want you all to know that the Board of Regents of the Regional University System of the state of Oklahoma are very, very proud of each and every one of you. We know that you will go far. You gathered here, and we know that you'll make us all very, very proud. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to your families.
Thank you, Regent Ogden, not only for your presence, but for your call to servant leadership. We appreciate it. At this time, I'd like to introduce some members of the platform party and those who have logistical roles in the ceremony. Others will be introduced later. I'm going to ask them to stand as I call their name. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Ms. Patty Buell, Director of Public Safety, representing NSU's Operations Division. Dr. Pamela Hathorn, Dean of the College of Science and Health Professions. Mr. David Kane, Vice President for Business and Finance. Mr. Ben Hardcastle, Executive Director, University Relations. Dr. Cheryl Vandenhandel, President of the Faculty Council. Dr. Bill Wallace is our mace bearer. Dr. Carrie Keller will assist in diploma distribution. Dr. Robin Pursley and Dr. Mike Chancellor will read names for this ceremony. Thank you all. As President Turner indicated, it really is the faculty that makes a university. And so at this time, I would like to recognize faculty members from the College of Liberal Arts, students. These individuals are here to share this moment with you. Our faculty bring Northeastern State, statewide, regional, national, and international recognition. But most importantly, they care about you, our students, and your success. Faculty, would you stand? Please join me in recognizing our faculty. Thank you, faculty.
Good evening. My name is Laura Boren, and I serve as the Vice President for Student Affairs. At this time, we wish to recognize outstanding students at Northeastern State University. The first group includes our student marshals, members of the Riverhawk Ambassadors, a service organization representing the university in events throughout the year. Would the Riverhawk Ambassadors please stand to be recognized? Recognizing students who perform to the highest academic standards and serve the community, the Awards Committee of the Northeastern State University Alumni Association has identified 18 outstanding seniors. Honorees from the College of Liberal Arts are asked to stand as I call your name. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Tricia Price, from Wright City, a Media Studies major. Thomas Teague, from Clayton, Political Science and Communication Studies major. And Mariah Tao, from Porham, a Geography major. Congratulations to our outstanding seniors. Would Tricia Price and Thomas Teague make their way to the right side of the stage? Established in 1974, the President's Leadership Class is a unique leadership and scholarship program designed to cultivate outstanding potential and proven student leaders. During their time at Northeastern, these students are immersed in a program focused on development of leadership skills and civic engagement. PLC members, as I call each name, please come forward to accept your certificate from President Turner. Tricia Price is a Media Studies major from Wright City, Oklahoma. As mentioned earlier, Thomas Teague is from Clayton, Oklahoma, and a Political Science and Communication Studies major. Please join me in recognizing the President's Leadership Class members from the College of Liberal Arts. Congratulations.
Will Aaron Cockrell and Molly Turner please make your way to the right side of the stage? Aaron and Molly are members of the University Honors Program. Established in 2001 and directed by Dr. Karen Carey, the NSU Honors Program features a learning environment where students work with faculty members and peers in courses focused on independent research and participation in co-curricular cultural experiences. Students in the Honors Program must maintain a 3.25 grade point average or above and complete a senior research project. As I call your name, please come forward and receive your honors medallion from President Turner. Aaron Cockrell is a criminal justice major from Warner, Oklahoma. Aaron's study was entitled Research on the Effects of Romeo and Juliet Laws. His faculty mentor was Mr. Brett Fitzgerald. Molly Turner is from Tahlequah and is a communication studies major. Her research project is titled Destructive Competition and Contingent Self-Worth, Adultification on TLC's Toddlers and Tiaras. Dr. Amy Aldridge Stanford served as Emily's mentor. Congratulations to Aaron and Molly. Members of the National Honor Society, Alpha Chi, are students in the upper 10% of their junior-senior class and have at least a 3.65 grade point average. Alpha Chi members can be recognized by the gold cords placed over their shoulders. Would all Alpha Chi members please stand? The names of the Spring 2014 honors graduates and the grade point average qualifications for undergraduate honors and master's degree honors are in your program. These students will be recognized individually as they cross the stage and receive their diplomas. Please join me in recognizing our graduates whose grade point averages qualify them for cum laude, magna cum laude, summa cum laude, and graduate student honors. All honors graduates, please stand. Thank you. Please be seated. At this time, it is a pleasure to introduce our student speaker for today's commencement, Mr. Thomas Teague, a graduating major in political science and communication studies. Thomas also serves as president of the Northeastern Student Government Association. He's from Clayton and was selected by the college to speak after participating in a rigorous review process. Please join me in welcoming Thomas Teague.
It's truly an honor to be selected by some of the smartest people that I've ever met to speak at a graduation. I count myself among them. That was a joke. To mark this occasion, I would like to share one of my favorite quotations, and I think it's very appropriate for the College of Liberal Arts. And I quote, "My mother said to me, if you're a scholar, you'll become a general. If you're a monk, you'll be the Pope. Instead, I was a painter and became Picasso." For all of us graduating today, Northeastern State University just became our alma mater, which translates from Latin to mean nourishing mother. So I think Picasso has special resonance for us here today. Picasso's mother had high expectations, and so too does NSU. Gather here, go far. Picasso's quotation and this occasion today both have special resonance for me as well. I grew up largely a ward of the state, barely having known my own mother. So Northeastern State University truly is my alma mater in so many ways. So, per our good friend Pablo Picasso, you decided to go to NSU, and you became a Riverhawk. But what does that mean? First, I'll tell you what it means for me. Without boring you with the details, I've had an interesting life and some very humble beginnings. Here are some words that have been used to describe me. Case number, foster kid, special education student who could barely read. Here are some other words. President's Leadership Class Scholarship recipient, President's Honor Roll student, student body president, Northeastern State University commencement speaker, and graduate in political science and communication studies. Statistically, none of this should be possible for me. I felt like I need to work twice as hard to get where I am, to really pull myself up by my bootstraps, a term I learned from Dr. Savage. Far more importantly, however, I was given a chance, over and over, by Northeastern State University. I went to NSU and became a Riverhawk, a college graduate, a person with a future. And so did you, graduating class of 2014. NSU is my alma mater. NSU is our alma mater. So that's what being a Riverhawk means to me. What does it mean for us, the graduating class of 2014? Attending a comprehensive university and attaining a degree of any kind is a major accomplishment and one that deserves to be honored. Some of us did it in 3 years, others in 5, and still others are graduating with master's degrees. Everyone graduating today has run a marathon, and that fact deserves to be honored. As we stand here today at the finish line, having run that marathon, instead of feeling exhausted, we feel invigorated, energized, and excited to find new challenges and new marathons. Actually, after finals week, I'm feeling pretty exhausted, but hey. There are many, many opportunities in the state of Oklahoma. Tulsa and Oklahoma City ranked 13th and 14th respectively in Bloomberg and Newsweek's best cities for new college grads. Oklahoma has a lower than average unemployment rate, so I'm pretty confident we're gonna make it. I know that each of you is well positioned to take advantage of these opportunities because you've spent years cultivating skills in communication, critical thinking, and flexibility. So, the future is bright, and we are uniquely positioned to take advantage of it. Every time I turn around, I hear about a graduate from Northeastern being offered a phenomenal career opportunity. I know graduates moving to Colorado who live and work in Washington, D.C., and still others who are making plans to attend graduate school in New York City. But for those of us who stay in the great state of Oklahoma, I encourage you to put your education to good use here. I implore you to make sure that Oklahoma grows and changes for the better, and consider which side of history you want this state to be on when our children and grandchildren look back. So, in closing, life advice from Thomas Teague. Never live down to low expectations. Be the best in your field. Be Pablo Picasso.
Thank you, Thomas. Great job. It is now my honor to introduce President Steve Turner, who will share his commencement remarks. President Turner.
Where are the statesmen? A statesman is defined as one versed in the principles of art of government, especially one actively engaged in conducting the business of a government or in shaping its policies. A usually wise, skilled, and respected government leader. It is a term that is considered by most to be gender neutral, as there are, of course, both women and men who are recognized as statesmen. Three words stand out to me when you examine the definition: wisdom, skill, and respect. The combination of these attributes makes for a good leader. Leadership, wherever and whenever it occurs, requires the ability to sort through complex issues, build consensus, negotiate, compromise, and most importantly, respect those that might have different opinions. Today, I will share with you three examples of true statesmanship, and a common thread of each of these stories can be captured in the word civility. I think of one of the most unsettling elements of our changing culture is the apparent assumption by many that it is okay to say anything, anytime to anybody because they feel upset about something. From one-on-one conversations to posts on the internet, the rules of conduct and conversation have changed. My challenge to the graduates today is simple. Will you be the statesman of tomorrow? Will you provide the leadership and spirit of civility that this nation needs now and in the future? Every generation faces incredible challenges, and those challenges can seem impossible to overcome. But the history of our country shows that strong and effective leaders do rise to the challenge of the times. Abraham Lincoln was elected our nation's 16th president on November 6, 1860. He is most remembered for serving in the office during the Civil War and sadly for being assassinated for his beliefs and policies. When word spread that Lincoln was elected, secessionists made clear their intent to leave the Union before he took office the following March. President Buchanan and President-elect Lincoln refused to recognize the Confederacy, declaring secession illegal. As he made the trip from Illinois to Washington, D.C. for his inauguration, the President-elect evaded possible assassins in Baltimore who had been uncovered by Lincoln's head of security, Allen Pinkerton. On February 23, 1861, he arrived in disguise in D.C. and was placed under substantial military guard. In his first inaugural address on March 4th, Lincoln directed many of his comments to the southern states, proclaiming once again that he had no intention or inclination to abolish slavery in the southern states. Lincoln believed that as president, he could eventually abolish slavery by stopping its further expansion into any U.S. territory. He ended his first inaugural address with an appeal to the people of the South. We are not enemies, but friends. The mystic cords of memory stretching from every battlefield and patriot grave to every living heart and hearthstone all over this broad land will yet swell the course of the Union when again touched, and surely they will be by the better angels of our nature. Even with the persistent threats on his life and the pressure of a strife-torn nation, Lincoln's statesmanlike approach included the selection of a cabinet that most presidents would have run from. He must have understood and adopted the adage, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. It was stated this: no president ever had a cabinet of which the members were so independent, had so large individual followings, and were so inharmonious. I love the word inharmonious. I'm pretty sure it means they bickered a lot. Lincoln's cabinet also, it included all of his major rivals for the Republican nomination for president: William Seward, Salmon Chase, Simon Cameron, and Edward Bates. Assistant Secretary of War Charles Dana wrote this several years later, and you need to hear this: the relationships between Mr. Lincoln and the members of his cabinets were always friendly and sincere on his part. He treated every one of them with unvarying candor, respect, and kindness. But though several of them were men of extraordinary force and self-assertion, this was especially true of Mr. Seward, Mr. Chase, and Mr. Stanton. And though there was nothing of selfhood or domination in his manner toward them, it was always plain that he was the master and they were the subordinates. The president was calm, equable, uncomplaining. This cabinet of rivals managed to put their differences aside and acted as statesmen to successfully conduct the war between the states and to support the Emancipation Proclamation. Their efforts ultimately led to the restoration of the United States of America. They knew that a house divided against itself could not stand. On November 22nd, 1963, 2 hours and 8 minutes after President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas, Vice President Lyndon Johnson was sworn in as the 36th President of the United States on Air Force One by U.S. District Judge Sarah T. Hughes, a Johnson family friend, making him the first and so far only president sworn in by a woman. President Johnson committed to the priority of advancing the civil rights legislative agenda that President Kennedy had fought so hard to get passed. Johnson believed that what Kennedy could not accomplish in life, he must accomplish following his tragic death. Lyndon Johnson could have acted on his own instincts and gone to Capitol Hill simply demanding that the Senate pass the bill. Instead, he acted like a statesman, enlisting the help of others, especially Everett McKinley Dirksen, the Republican minority leader in the U.S. Senate. When asked by Johnson for his assistance, the senator from Illinois replied, "I trust that time will never come in my political career when the waters of partisanship will flow so swift and so deep as to obscure my estimate of the national interest. I trust I can disenthrall myself from all bias, from all prejudice, from all irrelevancies, from all immaterial matters, and see clearly and cleanly what the issue is, and then render an independent judgment." Senator Dirksen played a central role in steering the Civil Rights Act of 1964 along its twisting parliamentary path through the U.S. Senate. The hardworking Republican leader used his innate civility, personal charm, legendary knowledge of Senate rules, and finely honed political instincts to convince enough Republicans to vote to end the longest filibuster in Senate history, 57 days. And then on the 58th day, the Senate stopped talking and the bill passed. Dirksen was asked to deliver Republican votes in support of a Democratic president who could not bring enough of his party along to seal the deal. The Republican senator and Democrat president acted as statesmen, and on July 2nd, 1964, Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act into law. President Johnson continued to push his Great Society platform and accomplished a second major success, this one related to education. The Higher Education Act of 1965 continues to have a significant impact on many of you because it focuses on providing funding for lower income students, including grants, work-study money, and government loans. How many of you in the audience and on the floor have received some type of financial aid while receiving or completing your degree? Look around. As you can clearly see, these statesmen from the 60s have a significant impact on your life in 2014. Ronald Reagan took the oath of office as the 40th President of the United States on January 20th, 1981. Speaker of the House Tip O'Neill came to Congress in 1952 from Massachusetts, winning the seat previously held by Senator-elect John F. Kennedy. An unlikely but ultimately successful relationship evolved between a very conservative Republican from Dixon, Illinois, who had been an actor and governor of California, and a very liberal Democrat and a lifelong politician from a neighborhood called Old Dublin in the Boston area of Massachusetts. President Reagan promised the American people that he would cut personal income taxes by 30%, boost defense spending, and banish the deficit all at the same time. More importantly, he promised that he would balance the budget using an approach that became known as Reaganomics. 1982 was not a good year for the trickle-down approach to economics. For a number of reasons, the U.S. economy was sinking in the deep recession, and the jobless rate was edging towards double digits. Reagan's promise of a balanced budget was not going to happen. Instead, the nation was expected to face a $90 billion plus deficit. It could have been easy for Democrat Tip O'Neill to claim victory over the Republican president's platform and make a strong political statement by letting the economy falter. Instead, he went to work with the president to find common ground. Because of the bipartisan cooperation led by the president and the speaker, the Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act of 1982 was passed. Both men elevated themselves to the level of statesmen, putting political interest aside in an attempt to move the economy and the nation forward. I'll conclude with one final story of the relationship between Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill. On March 30, 1981, President Ronald Reagan was shot by John Hinckley as he left the Washington Hilton Hotel. A bullet pierced his lung and lodged 1 inch from his heart. His injury was not the result of a direct hit, but instead came from a bullet that ricocheted off the presidential limo. If you know where the Washington Hilton is, it's north of DuPont Circle and not too far from George Washington University Hospital. By the time they got President Reagan to the hospital, he had lost 50% of his blood volume due to internal bleeding. Upon arrival at the hospital, the president refused to accept any assistance from anyone and demanded to walk into the hospital on his own. As he walked, he stopped to visit with people on the sidewalk. He collapsed about 20 feet inside the doors. The 70-year-old president's condition was grave, and the chief of staff, not wanting to alarm the nation, made the decision to keep information about his health carefully guarded until improvement was seen. After a number of days, Tip O'Neill was allowed to visit President Reagan in the hospital. The staff realized how important this visit was, but had concerns about what might be said publicly about the president's condition. Speaker O'Neill entered the room, walking past everyone. He grabbed the president's hand and he said, "God bless you, Mr. President." The speaker then got down on his knees and he said, "I'd like to offer a prayer for you, Mr. President." He chose the 23rd Psalms and he said, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He restores my soul." He finished the prayer and he stood up and he kissed the president on the forehead and said, "I better go. I don't want you to tire out." O'Neill never disclosed the president's physical condition. Even in politically charged environments where the stakes are extraordinarily high, there are statesmen and there is civility. The stories I share today involve the business of government, but the principles of statesmanship and civility can and should be applied to whatever we do. Graduates, you've spent the past few years under the instruction of an outstanding NSU faculty who have shared their wisdom with each of you with precision and skill in an environment of respect. Beyond the goal of imparting knowledge, there has been an intentional effort to create a new generation of individuals who leave their mark on society as citizens and leaders. The faculty are supported by an engaged and committed staff who work each day to maintain an environment that is conducive to creativity and innovation. You will be joining only 23% of Oklahomans who have a bachelor's degree. If you're receiving a master's degree, that number drops down to 7.7%. I think it is fair to expect each of you to stay informed and get involved with activities related to leadership and to serving the public interest. You'll be the ones who will coach Little League baseball or soccer. You'll serve in leadership positions at your places of worship. You will organize fundraisers for worthwhile causes. You'll serve on the local school board or city council, or perhaps serve in the state legislature or Congress. I am told there's at least one student who has their eye on the White House. To that student, I say, the Lincoln bedroom would be just fine for Penny and I when we come to visit. Wisdom, skill, and respect. These are characteristics of statesmen that I read to you earlier. Unvarying candor, respect, and kindness, calm, equable, uncomplaining. These were the words that described Abraham Lincoln. No, we can't all be Lincoln, but we can aspire to greatness in who we are and in everything we do. So in 2014, where are the statesmen? They're here. And it's you, and it's you, and it's you, and it's you. Go from this place and make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, President Turner. Students, it is time to present candidates for the baccalaureate and master's degrees. Each candidate will be recognized on stage and receive a diploma cover. Master's degree candidates will also receive a hood symbolizing their professional field. After all candidates are recognized on stage, President Turner will confer degrees. Dean Philip Bridgman will present the candidates and will be assisted in diploma distribution by Carrie Keller, Assistant Dean. Dr. Bridgman.
Good evening. I'm Phil Bridgman, Dean of the College of Liberal Arts. President Turner, it is my pleasure to present to you the baccalaureate candidates from the College of Liberal Arts. Will the bachelor's candidates please come forward?
Sharon Marie Cole, magna cum laude.
James Bradley McCrae III.
Clifford Ray Morris.
Athena Farrell, magna cum laude.
Michelle Lee Bunch.
Stacy Lynn Espinosa, summa cum laude.
Kelly Gonzalez, cum laude.
Sarah Christine Wallace, summa cum laude.
Emery Anna Pace.
Mariah Lee Towell, summa cum laude.
Emily Kale Butcher.
Ashley Stoddard, summa cum laude.
Preston William Koneman.
Rachel Leah Taylor, summa cum laude.
Cody Wayne Bolin.
Marcus Kemar Cotton.
Trixie Lavina Colburn, magna cum laude.
Shane Jamal Devers.
Bethany Lynn Edge.
Daryl R. Crenshaw, Jr.
Jessica L. Hardcastle, cum laude.
Kendra May Barron.
Saray Leanne Davis.
Miranda Lynn Freeman.
Jennifer Ray Wallace Sharp.
Jason Todd Briley, summa cum laude.
Jordan Allen Robertson.
Amanda Renee Wood, cum laude.
Monica R. Flynn.
Kathy Lynn Drake, summa cum laude.
Josie Ann Cheater.
James Wayne Parker, Jr., cum laude.
Amy Gann.
Kendria Renee James.
Thomas Leon Teague, summa cum laude.
Molly Catherine Turner, magna cum laude.
Patricia K. Patton.
Audra Lynn Hurley, summa cum laude.
Imoke Stone.
Ethan Alexander Harrington.
Michael E. Wiley.
Amber Nicole Russell.
Joseph Abram Tiger, cum laude.
Blake Harris.
Shane Edward Johnston, magna cum laude.
Meredith Helen Barker, cum laude.
Araceli Maldonado.
Trisha Suzanne Price, magna cum laude.
Allison Colleen Pogue.
Jennifer Michelle Clark.
Alexandra Lauren Simmons, summa cum laude.
Victoria Ann Gilmartin.
Tanya Yvonne Lamalette.
Nicole Kelty.
Jacob Lloyd Drain, cum laude.
Angela Pauline Walker.
Dalton Garrett Grooms.
Susanna Allen.
Eli Cale Turley, cum laude.
Brittany Elaine Harlow, summa cum laude.
Christopher Leon Gerdner.
Amber Dawn Wilson.
Troy Dean Shatwell, cum laude.
Sydney K. Asbill.
Rebecca Nicole Yates, cum laude.
Philip Reuben Curry, Jr.
Sarah Lynn Brewer.
Caitlin Jose Hamilton.
Jennifer Griggs.
Colton David Holmes.
Larissa Renee Robertson, cum laude.
Danielle Alexis Hires.
Blake Richard Bishop.
Courtney Marquette Brannon.
Thomas Brooke Hall.
Vera Beth Edson, magna cum laude.
Cody Lenz.
Emily Elizabeth Schmidt.
Joshua Lewis.
Jessica Kelsey Bryan.
Clifton David Jackson.
Ricardo Alfredo Sanchez.
Heath A. Osage.
Jennifer Lee Harper.
Dawn Marie Tinnen.
Lanny Matthew Hackney, cum laude.
Melvin Thomas Jordan, summa cum laude.
Joshua Aaron Melvin.
Jeremiah Clint Harper, cum laude.
Alma Marie Pickle.
Ashley Christine Phillips.
Nancy Ann Ausen.
Aaron David Burrows.
Amanda Lynn Little.
Matthew R. Hull.
Jesse Lee Harp.
Brianna Michelle Hull.
Bobby Aaron Ray Behrens, magna cum laude.
Brandy Whaler.
Randall Stephen Skidmore.
Aaron Cockrell, magna cum laude.
Nickel Ray Vaughn Sloan.
Kyle Jacob Vance.
Terry Sweeney.
Joshua Mack.
Austin Kyle Jacoberger.
John Lee Kirby.
Shelley Dawn Dunham, cum laude.
Brian Maloney.
Ryan James Combs.
Mike Kelly.
Sarah Hisa, magna cum laude.
Scott Bradley Smythe.
Carla Renee Oslin, magna cum laude.
Benjamin Clay Buller, magna cum laude.
Craig Nicholas Smith.
Calvin Lee Becker.
I got you. James Howard Johnston.
Cody Clay Robinson.
Zachary Logan Barnes.
Whitney Yvonne Ferguson.
Lakeisha Shanice Wiley.
Schneider.
Kenneth Garrett.
John David Schneider.
Please help me acknowledge the bachelor's degree candidates from the College of Liberal Arts.
Good evening. I'm Tom Jackson, Assistant Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of the Graduate College and Research. President Turner, I am pleased to present these candidates from the College of Graduate Studies upon whom the master's degrees will be conferred. Candidates from the College of Liberal Arts will proceed to both sides of the platform where they will be hooded by their dean or assistant dean and their faculty mentor. Master's degree candidates in the College of Liberal Arts, please come forward.
This side goes first, right?
Cheyenne Lynn Wingfield.
Jonathan Kyle Eubanks.
Melissa Ann Harrington.
Cheryl Ann Leeds Hollinger.
Erin Denise Bailey.
Elena Michelle Ross.
Frances Jean Sims.
Shauna Jean Blake. Lindsay Alexandra Taylor. Jasmine Ruth Wright Lang.
Please help me acknowledge the master's degree candidates from the College of Liberal Arts.
Students, it is time for the conferring of degrees. Will all baccalaureate and master's degree candidates please rise? President Turner, pending the results of a final degree audit, I certify that the candidates before you have completed all requirements for the baccalaureate and master's degrees respectively, and I recommend the degree to which they are individually entitled be conferred.
Thank you, Dr. Fly. Consistent with the statutes of the state of Oklahoma, the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education, and the Board of Regents of the Regional University System of Oklahoma, and by the authority vested in me by the state of Oklahoma, it is my pleasure to confer upon each of you the baccalaureate or master's degree as printed in the program with all the rights, ranks, privileges, and responsibilities such a degree carries among scholars. Graduates, there is a tradition in higher education that signifies the passage from being a student candidate for graduation to becoming a graduate. At this time, please remove your tassel or move your tassels from the right side to the left side. You may be seated.
You may be seated. Graduates, as you know, Northeastern State University has a long history of service to Oklahoma. Our alumni have accomplished great things in their professional and personal lives. Today, you are joining this distinguished group, and we are your partner as you begin this new chapter in your life. Here to explain the benefits of membership in the Alumni Association is Mr. Daniel Johnson, Director of NSU Alumni Relations. Mr. Johnson.
On behalf of NSU's Alumni Association's Board of Directors, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you graduates for the first time to the Green and White Network of Northeastern State University. Green and White Network is how we refer to our community of some 55,000 plus alumni who all share one important thing in common. That is a lasting connection with Northeastern State University. When you walked in and you found your way to your seat, this was waiting for you. This is your official NSU alumni pin. And if you haven't already, take a quick moment and put it on, because you are now, in fact, graduates of Northeastern State University. You are now a part of the Green and White Network. The NSU Alumni Association is all about connections, and becoming a member of the Alumni Association is the most meaningful way to maintain that connection with NSU and with each other. The Alumni Association is your link to the Green and White Network. We keep you connected through a broad range of networking activities, programming, services, communications, and I encourage you to take full advantage of all of these offerings by joining the Alumni Association and enjoying the rewards and that sense of pride that comes along with being a member. NSU needs you to stay connected. This institution thrives in no small part because of our invested alumni community. We see this when our alumni come back to serve as mentors to students, to serve as members of advisory boards for the colleges, and we see them when they hire new interns or new graduates such as yourself. And we certainly see it when the alumni community steps up to support the many needs for scholarships and other privately funded projects. You are now a part of this connected community. And as our newest alumni, you become our greatest spokespeople. Once you've left here and you go about pursuing your life after NSU, one day you'll have the opportunity to serve as a mentor. One day you'll have an opportunity to open that career door for future NSU graduates. And as alumni, you are also our best recruiters. And if I can take a quick liberty, I suspect there are many in the audience this evening that played an important role in bringing you to Northeastern. So folks in the audience, if you attended Northeastern or graduated prior today, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Graduates, great things can happen when you stay connected with NSU and with each other. The relationships you have developed here are hopefully rich and lasting. I welcome you once again to the Green and White Network. And as you leave here, whether your path takes you just up the road to Pryor or south to Sherman, Texas, I want you to know that you will always have a place here at Northeastern. This will always be home. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. As we come to the close of our ceremony, please listen carefully to these directions to facilitate a safe and smooth exit from the arena. In just a moment, we will ask you to stand and join in the singing of the NSU alma mater, led by Rebecca Yates and accompanied by our woodwind quintet. Following the alma mater, please remain standing for the recessional. After the platform party has recessed, graduates are dismissed to meet guests on the upper concourses, in the lobby area, or outside. We ask audience members who are physically able to depart via the upper concourse to avoid bottlenecks on the arena floor. Now, please join me for the NSU alma mater. Please stand.
Forever. Thank you.